Hey there and welcome. It's Bailey and Curly, Unfiltered, and we, believe it or not, Bales, have made it to episode 10.
We have. How are you, Curly?
Hey, I'm really good, and you?
I'm really good, man. I'm really good.
You just talking a little bit off air, and you've had a bit of a good little trip outside of the state of Victoria.
Left Victoria. It's funny you say off air because when I listen back to this podcast, I think, fuck, did I say that on the podcast or off the podcast? Yeah, I've just finally left Victoria to see mum and dad and my sister.
Yeah.
I'm still digesting it. It was so surreal. Like I left Monday after work, got back last night, and then back to work today because we're back to work full time now as well.
Yeah.
So, which is great, but yeah, man, I'm on cloud nine. Like just seeing the family, it was just so surreal, man. It was such an emotional moment. Like
Would have been.
if you've seen the news or anything when people meet at the airport for the first time, it's pretty much exactly like that, man. Like I pulled up and my mind was like out of the car already. I just seatbelt off and just
Gone.
I was gone. It was
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, and now it feels like it's crazy because when we started this podcast, man, this is literally the only thing I had to do was this podcast.
Yep.
I'd wait out for it. I'd literally had nothing that was on. Everything was shut, and now it's good to. I hate using the word busy, but it's good to be busy again and.
Yeah.
To even like I'm now behind in the TV shows I watch. Like it's good. It's a good feeling again to always have something to catch up on, and it's just been go, which is awesome.
So that's obviously my challenge as well because I've been binging far too much on TV shows, and I always like to have something going in the background while I'm doing work. Yeah. And it's just been very distracting, but I can certainly understand how you feel. It's so easy to get sucked into going through a binge on some of those programs. So
yeah.
So what's South Australia like, mate?
Oh, mate. Well, this is the thing.
Has it changed much?
Well, to be honest, I really didn't want to come back here. Not obviously my family. After not seeing them for so long, but we're the only state wearing masks in Victoria. Like you go there, it's a whole different fucking world.
Yeah, I had that in my little notes here. Masks in Melbourne still. I mean, you've only gone. Is it
July.
60 days now? 60 days? No, it's not 60 days.
It must be up to 40. Around
yeah,
40,
you've had a shitload of days without any COVID community cases.
Yeah.
And Dan still got you wearing masks.
Oh, it's just my opinion is it's just a dick tease. He's just dragging it along for no fucking reason because not that I've kept up with what's going on, but here in Melbourne, I think they've opened up nightclubs as of Monday.
Yeah.
Where South Australia, their nightclubs aren't open yet, so. If we're in front of another state in terms of opening up, why the fuck are we still wearing masks?
Yeah. You tend to think it's still all about control. He's got control. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to lose that. I would suggest. So
yeah,
I don't get over. I don't understand why you're wearing masks. We haven't worn masks here in Queensland at any stage. I mean, it was recommended, it was encouraged, but man, it was never enforced. It was never like a police state law that you've got to wear masks.
No, and I think we've been wearing them since July. I think it came in to be mandatory.
Yeah.
So here we are 5 months later, and a couple of weeks ago, he said, you don't have to wear them outside anymore, and then Sunday he announced. It's a fucking I can understand why people get confused because there's such a fuck around with it. Like he announced that you don't have to wear masks unless you're in a shopping centre at like Woolworths, Coles, Kmart, JB Hi-Fi, Bunnings, places with QR codes. Now we're so new here to QR codes because everything was shut while the rest of the world the rest of the country.
While we all got our shit together, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming QR codes are all up there as well.
Well, some businesses still use pen and paper, and that does my head in because, you're looking at the people who've signed in before you, and there's Mickey Mouse and there's Donald Duck, and
there's an idea.
There's all sorts of bloody shit going on with pen and paper. But, the privacy concerns, who's in control of that pen and paper, for starters? Because usually there isn't a staff member there. QR codes are more efficient, they're more effective, and a lot of vendors are putting them out, those COVID places, those COVID apps, for free. So I don't understand why businesses aren't embracing the digital, but if a business is sitting here with pen and paper, it probably tells me more about the business and their efficiency and their operations and their care factor than anything else.
Yeah, is it a law? Do you have to legally check in?
I think it's all part of this COVID. It's part of the COVID safe stuff, that plans that businesses have to do, and it helps with contract tracing. And at the moment, cool. That's I'm sure everyone is happy to do it.
So bottom line is, the business has to have it there, whether you do it or not. Sort of up to you.
Well, I haven't. There are some businesses where they will ask to show where you've signed in. So it'll actually say on the app, don't close this, and show it to the lady at the counter. So some of them are doing that. Yeah. But ultimately, it's very much an honour program, I would suggest, in the vast majority of cases.
Yeah, when I went to the pub the other week, you had to check in before coming, because you walk in and they come to you and you've got to do that, and then they'll take you to your seat. And even Lush, they're very strict. Like they have, they can only allow a certain amount of people in the shop. So you're out there lining up like you're going to get into a nightclub. And you have to sanitize. You have to sanitize. I refuse to. I'm like, people have been touching that all day. Oh, but it sanitizes off. I'm like, so she walked me over. She walked me over, and I washed my hands in the sink. In the arse. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned Lush, because Apple stores are probably the only place in Queensland where you have to wear a mask. You cannot get into an Apple store without a mask, and I just think that's such a load of crap. But it's just. It is such it's still a very interesting scenario. I saw something on Twitter today. Someone in the States had done this whole scenario of what's happening in Australia. What's happening in countries that have COVID under control. And so, of course, they've interviewed a lot of Australians. And one of the wankers up here in Queensland that was interviewed, and I'll call him a wanker, because he says... If people were to think back this time last year and this time this year, they would not notice a lot different. And, in some ways, okay, that may be the case. But we still have crosses and dots and everything that we've got to stand on. We've still got to line up outside the fucking Apple store and put on our mask. There are still, like, we were in the city last Saturday night. We're walking past the casino. There's a line up there with the security dudes, and I'm thinking, there's a line up. There must be a limit on how many people get into the casino. No, there's no fucking limit. They're just doing the apps. So the security guards are not letting them in until they've done their COVID app. So to that wanker, whoever it was that replied to that particular survey, we weren't doing that last year.
No.
Sir. With all due respect, So there is a big difference still in what we're doing now. Yes, we have more freedom than other states and other countries, but they're still impositions on what it is that we do.
Yeah, like I was talking, because we're back to obviously full-time work, which means we've had to park. Like our car park's changed this year, our crew room's changed, but that's all. Our crew room's changed it tomorrow, but our car park went back this week, which means for us in Melbourne, we park in the car park and then we get a bus over to the airport.
Yeah.
So there's people back at work that haven't been here since March, so it's good to see. But I was talking to one flight attendant today, and he was doing a Perth return out of Melbourne.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he did it the other day as well, and he said disembarking is so slow, like especially like if you're on a 330 anyway that hold over 200-300 people or something. Even a 737 holds 160, 180 or something. But he was saying they had to disembark 50 people at a time.
Yeah.
So we're not doing the same as what we were last year.
When you land on a plane, the first thing you want to do is get the fuck off it, right? So that would be so frustrating for people that are sitting there waiting to get off, and they're saying, no, we've got to do it by rows. That's the COVID safe plan. The interesting thing, Bales, is that, whenever you look at the stats, I mean, the worst case scenario still with COVID is that we have and just using the world general stats, I think it's 2%. 2% of people die, 98% of people recover. So we've got a virus that is 2% deadly. So now everyone's jumping up and down because we've suddenly got this vaccine. But guess what? The vaccine's only 95% effective. So when you think the virus itself is 2% deadly, at worst, I mean, some people will tell you it's a lot less deadly, but based on the stats, and I use a site called Worldometers with that, so it's probably 2 to 3% around the world that people die or get really critically sick. But then the vaccine's not going to improve that by a great deal at all, because it's still only 95% effective. So the ones that were going to die are still going to be the ones that are going to die. Yeah. So everyone's jumping up and down saying, "You beauty, we've got a vaccine and the world's going to return back to normal." The reality, I mean, it's horrible to see people die. Whether it's a car accident, whether it's a lifetime of smoking, whether it's COVID, whether it's the flu. I mean, the reality is that we're all going to die. We don't get a get out of jail card in this thing called life. When it's our turn to die, it's our turn to die. So I still keep thinking about the fact that there is just... I don't understand. We're all excited about this vaccine that's only 95% effective. And you would have seen things like, there was a meme going around that there was M&Ms, there was 100 M&Ms, and if 3 of them were deadly or poisonous, and would you still put your hand in and grab a handful? So that's 3%. We've got a vaccine that's 95% effective, which means that it's 5% ineffective. So all of a sudden the 3 M&Ms have become 5 M&Ms. Anyway, so I don't want to harp on about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of sitting on the fence when it comes to the vaccines. I'm just watching everyone. You got the pro, then you've got the anti-vacciners, and I don't know enough about them. People say 8 months is too quick, and the flu one took 3 years, or
Well, we don't have a vaccine for the flu. We've got a flu shot. Yeah. But it's not like a vaccine. I suppose there's some sort of terminology that makes it different, but
because if you want to travel overseas, you're going to have a vaccine.
Yeah, or jump on a plane.
Yeah.
That's what Joycey's saying with Qantas.
Yeah.
You got to have a jab, and you're sitting there and thinking, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like that's something the public wants to hear, that a vaccine's going to cure everything, that the vaccine's going to, if the vaccine's going to mean we're going to go back to normal.
Yeah, I think we're going to be wearing masks on planes forever more. I just don't ever see us returning to. I think the fear factor now within the general population. You know, I mentioned Japan to you, and Japan is now such. I mean, the country has always been focused around if you're feeling sick, you wear a mask. And I think that sort of culture is now going to be everywhere because of the fear factor around COVID. So, yeah, it's an interesting space to be living in. Hey, I know you've had your fair share of battles with social media. So I don't know if you've heard this, but there's 48 states in America that are suing Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah, it's what they call I think it's an antitrust case. So, meaning that what they're saying is that they've got too much dominance, and whenever
I feel like the two states that aren't suing are Hawaii and Alaska.
That could possibly be the case. But they're saying that Facebook, 48 states are suing Facebook for alleged antitrust abuses. So what they're saying is that Facebook has too much power, and that whenever they've had like a competitor like an Instagram or what have you, they just buy them. So they've ended up with this absolute monopoly, and they're being sued. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I caught up with a mate for dinner the other night, and he's only on Instagram. He's deactivated his Facebook after watching the Social Dilemma.
Yeah. I think more and more people are actually moving off from Facebook, but because I found this thing quite interesting in respect also of what Twitter and Facebook are doing in respect to the election over there. So you can go onto Facebook and do what some of those more extreme people do in relation to, say, like a Pete Evans, for example. He can sprout whatever he wants to sprout around vaccines or global conspiracies, and he doesn't get censored. He doesn't, that information is left there by, whether it's Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah.
But every single thing that Donald Trump says at the moment, regardless whether it says about election fraud or election integrity, it is censored. It's got that disclaimer there. So he might be saying something about something else, and he gets the disclaimer. Like, I just think I think it's a really scary place at the moment, because even YouTube have come out today and said any videos from now on that talk about election fraud will be banned, and those channels banned. So I just think these social platforms are in this, and we're going live to YouTube.
Yeah.
But one of I just think they've got too much power. And if they've got an ideology and a theory, and they've got their beliefs, and then they're going to silence every other belief, I'm not sure we're in a great place.
Yeah, it's been a weird year.
Oh, it's been a absolute. Hey, do you believe, seriously? Do you believe Joe Biden got 81 million votes?
I don't know enough about it, but you did say, like, we did compare, because Obama didn't even get that much when he won. No. So I did a bit of a snapshot. I've had a bit of time up my sleeve, and fair enough. I think
I don't quite have the figures with me at the moment. See, I don't even believe Trump got 74 million votes. So, and so I think even that's a bit, my God, how did he get 74 million? I think he got 68 million last year. So, or last election. So he went up like 6 million votes. But the Democrat side went up like fucking 12 million votes. And when you think about it, it was only like in the 2000s that the winning elector, the winning number of votes for a president was about 40 million votes. And America's was pretty steady there from about 1990 till about 2012, and then all of a sudden it got a boost with Obama, and then it got a boost
with Trump.
With Trump, and then we're saying that Biden got 80 million votes. Can I tell you something interesting that happened to me in Facebook this week?
Go for it.
Now, you would trust me in what I say, or what I, on what I see. Right?
Yes.
So the other day we had Trump on a live stream from the White House in relation to the COVID task force. So operation, whatever they called it, to get the vaccines out. So it was early in the morning. I woke up. Trump's on a live stream. I've checked it out. He had 16,000 viewers. Right? 16,000. And then one of the comments that I saw, and I wasn't on there for a long time, but one of the comments that I saw said, thank God Joe Biden is also live streaming on CNN, right? So I said, oh, that's interesting. They've got dueling fucking live streams here. The election's still going, I thought. So Trump's got 16,000 live viewers. I go over to the Joe Biden Facebook page. He's streaming on Facebook. He had 6,000 viewers. 6,000. I think it was about 5.9. 6,000 versus 16,000. So Trump's like whipping it. And even if you were to take into account that 50% of people watching Trump are watching Trump so that they can pick him to bits. So it's still 8,000, right?
Yeah.
So even if you halved it, and then I had my breakfast, went for my walk, did all that sort of shit, and then I thought that just says everything to me. And so I went back to check I screenshotted at that particular time, and then I went back and just double checked. And the funny thing was, right, I went back to the same live stream that was being replayed, right? You know how Facebook does the replay?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Trump was down to 4,000 viewers. So, at the same time that I saw, the same time that I screenshotted at 15.9 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Biden live stream, and there was no live viewer numbers. None. So I thought,
fucking weird.
And this is me. This is my eyes seeing this, and I'm thinking, there's something funny going on here. There is something funny going on here. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. So I think social media and the platforms of social media are playing this game for keeps. I think they've got a. It's pretty clear they've got an agenda to me, but anyway, all good.
Yeah. How's your back anyway?
Hey mate, it's good. I got another physio tomorrow, and I've been twice, and mate, it hurts like hell when you go to the physio, but he's certainly done it. He loosened it up, so it's just it was just tight. Obviously, I'd heard it when I fell off the ladder.
Yeah.
And then all the muscles constricted around it, but it's good. Like, I went for a walk this morning. It's been good. So it's been awesome.
Yeah,
excellent
awesome.
to hear. So what's on the agenda for you moving forward while Melbourne is still in masks?
Well, I'm off to Canberra next week to record some music, which is very exciting because it's been one hell of a year and I haven't been up there since March.
Yeah.
So.
How long are you there for?
Three nights.
Okay.
So not recording much because it'll just be at night time, but better than nothing. And I just want to get up there. I want to get out of Melbourne, and you never know when they're going to close again. So
I think that's the thing, Matty, and even South Australia is a bit of a they're the bad boys at the moment. So
someone needs to be though. It seems like. You know what I mean?
Hey, Queensland's just about to, can I tell you? Anastasia is quite worried at the moment about the amount of people in quarantine who have COVID, overseas travellers coming back, etc., etc. They no longer have fresh air breaks. So if you've got COVID, if you've tested positive for COVID, you're in your motel room. That's it. No fresh air. No exercise breaks because of the severe risk that you're going to give COVID to some poor unsuspecting Queenslander.
So why the fuck are we wearing masks then? If they've got COVID, let them out with a mask on. That does it. That fucking cures it, doesn't it?
I don't know. You look at the American stats. I think the more you wear masks, the more the cases go up. So
yeah. So
it's... Like, and even Sweden, I mean, I was talking about Sweden, all of a sudden their deaths have gone up again. So you just sort of think, what the fuck is this thing? Because it just seems to have a mind of its own. So, I thought Sweden was going all right. Cases were going through the roof. They were still high, but their deaths were dwindling. And now all of a sudden their deaths have gone up again, so...
Yeah. But like I said, I feel like one state in Australia needs the spotlight. Like,
go South Australia.
Yeah. So the thing is, the whole point of what everyone's been working together towards this year is once the states are open, keep them open, because. Queensland were open to SA and then all of a sudden shut. I think you guys still might be shut to them. I don't know. No, we are at December. No, sorry, we are open. So okay. December, it was from December 1 that we reopened. But that is the challenge that we face, because what does it mean for us to close the borders again? Like, what really surprised me when Queensland reopened to New South Wales and Vic, if I was New South Wales and Vic, I'd be saying, stick it in your ass, Queensland. Yeah. But our bookings went through the roof. All of a sudden there was like record bookings in tourism. And that's nice that people said, I can't wait to get to Queensland. I can't wait to get up there and see family. And, so I understand that. But I just think that it won't take much for her to close the borders again. And that's why I'm going up to Canberra to record. One, because I haven't been up there for so long. Obviously, I want to get up and record because, like I said, now, I feel everyone wants to get out of where they live at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially Victorians to be locked up for so long, and to be locked up in your own state as well with like a 5 kilometre radius.
Yeah, that just sucks.
Like
the ring of steel.
Yeah, like if we could roam around in our own state, it might not have felt as bad as it did.
Yeah.
But we won't forget what he did, and I just want to get out every day off I can, possibly just to re-fall in love with Melbourne again, because it's So what have you got coming up?
It's going to be very interesting for Melbourne, because I think even the tennis has been pushed back, hasn't it? So January is normally tennis in Melbourne with the Australian Open, and there's people normally everywhere. In Federation Square, you get the big screen of the tennis, and and I think it's been pushed back to February. So
I'm not sure about Boxing Day test either.
Yeah.
Have you heard if that's going ahead?
I don't think it is. Yeah. Let's look it up.
Yeah, and I haven't looked at how many people the sports venues can have now. I don't know if that's been announced. I know, our weddings, and there's a few other things that don't have a cap on anything anymore.
Yeah. So it's 5 hours ago. Boxing Day test. The age. Let's see what it says.
You have to sign up to the newspaper to read the article.
No. Cricket Australia, the MCG, and Victorian government are discussing the Boxing Day test. So it's still there, hosting a larger crowd as the state recorded. And this is December 9, so this is like yesterday. It's 40th COVID-free day. So the Boxing Day test is still there. So that's a positive. I think they're saying 35,000 per day.
Oh yeah.
Stadium holds 100, doesn't it?
Yeah, 190. 90? Yeah,
so they're saying currently the official capacity for all 5 days is 25,000.
Divided
in line. Yeah, so that's 5,000 a day. Can you imagine the Boxing Day test with 5,000 people? You'd have to pick the loudest yobbos that were going to get on the sauce all day just to create.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But they're trying to get 35,000 per day, which at least is something.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully the AFL comes back next year.
Yeah, I think I think next year is going to be a huge year for the AFL if they can get Victorian games back. I mean, you guys love your footy, and I think we'll see a whole season of sellouts next year if games are played in Victoria. People have missed it that much. So, I mean, there were people who came to the grand final here in Queensland that quarantined for 2 weeks in Northern Territory. Yeah, to get to the grand final. So when that's how mad keen people are for footy.
Yeah.
So, and then Queensland put on the entertainment that we did. Yeehaw!
What have you got coming up over the next few weeks, Curly?
Mate, to be honest, the Sharon finishes work just a couple of days off Chrissy. Well, she'll have like a week off or something, or just under 2 weeks. So we've got a series of road trips that we're going to be doing. So we mapped them out. We're going to head up to Kingaroy, of all places, never been there. Rainbow Beach, which is just off Fraser Island, which is where all the bushfires are at the minute. We're going to head down to Yamba and head down to Nimbin. So a couple of day trips there.
Yeah, nice.
Christmas is going to be nice and quiet for us. What about you? What have you got planned for Chrissy?
Well, as good as we are back to full-time at work, we're still on a 2-week roster. When usually we get a month roster, which is pissing everyone off, but it is what it is. And tomorrow our roster comes out, so we're all going to be anxiously waiting tomorrow, and then I'll know my Christmas plans. So I'll go back home no matter what. I just don't know when until tomorrow. I'll look at my days, and we're going to do Christmas Day whenever I've got the day off to do it. If I don't have Christmas Day or around it off, like if I have the 23rd off, that'll be Christmas Day for me. We'll do presents, we'll do the roast, and so tomorrow's the big reveal.
Awesome. How is Karen, can I ask?
Yeah, she's good. Good. The whole, I don't think it's sunk in yet that I was home, and it was just so surreal. And did you fall into like a routine pretty quickly, or was it just holy shit? When I went home,
it
was like holy shit, man.
Oh, Mum, just leave me alone. I'm doing this at
No, like, as soon as I got out, I just, in the door, like, just the tears just fucking flowed. When I seen Mum and just gave her the biggest hug, and then same again for my sister, and then Dad finished work at 11:30, and yeah, it was such a quick trip, and
yeah,
it was weird. It was like a movie. I'm like, what the, like, you know?
Because I think I think a lot of people are now starting to think about what's going to happen next year, and what are they going to try and get done. And the interesting thing is, I mean, you would have known this. I was going to write 2 books and run 2 marathons. Well, the marathons came through. The books I've got 2 half books at the moment, so not 2 full books. So 2021 is really going to be a year where I think we've just got to kick some ass, and regardless whether it's still COVID affected, it will be. It's not like COVID's going to turn itself off on New Year's Day, and we're just about to go into winter in the States, so I think they've got a world of pain in front of them, continuing a world of pain, but it's going to be 2021. I don't think it's going to be too much different from 2020. I suppose our mindset and our approach is going to be different, because we should be bloody used to this shit by now. Standing on the dot, right. Keeping the 1.5, all that sort of stuff.
You are right. We're gonna have to fucking kick some ass, because 2020 kicked our ass. 2020 kicked our ass.
Yeah.
You know, I was coming into this year like fucking full steam ahead. Like,
yeah.
You know, I just started making a record last year, and I was fucking full steam ahead, and it's, you know, in the mind, and then all of a sudden everything got put on hold. So, you know, my mind slowed down. I'm like, well, there's not much I can do for this record. I've sort of done everything I wanted to do, and now my mind's just fucking full steam ahead again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm planning this. I'm asking this person to do this for me. I'm making sure this is going to be ready and this is ready, and which is fucking awesome. Like, keeps me busy at home. Even, you know, when I'm at home doing nothing, I'm in the studio, I'm doing this. So 2021, I think, will be everyone's 2020. You know, like all the things that were supposed to happen this year, I think, will happen next year. And
yeah, I'm hoping that everyone that sees 2021 are going to be stronger for the year that we've had this year. So you'd like to think that what we've gone through, we're still standing, we're still having a laugh, we're still swearing our heads off. So, you know, Bailey and Curly, Unfiltered, has hopefully helped some people get through this.
Hope so, because it'll be really cool to look back on all these in like a year or 2 years' time. So, you know, when we first started it, to, you know, fucking hearing all the progress, what Victoria and the world went through. Has New Year's Eve been cancelled up in Queensland? Because I heard a rumour that Melbourne wasn't going to have fireworks. I don't know if that's true or where I've seen that, or...
I think I've read somewhere that Sydney's not doing fireworks. I've also believed that Brisbane isn't having fireworks. And I think the official word was that it would be too difficult to maintain social distancing. Now, mind you, you can get 50,000 at Suncorp Stadium for the state of origin, where there is no such thing as social distancing at a full stadium. But we don't want to risk having, you know, 90,000 people down there at Southbank to watch the fireworks. You know, it's just hypocritical in so many ways still. But, you know, I guess they're navigating it as best as what they can be. I'll be a bit generous with that. So
I like it.
As long as I can still have a couple of beers, and I'll be all sweet. So
yeah, that'll be it.
So Bales, your big trip for the week, apart from obviously going to Adelaide, what would you try and get out every day? So what are you doing when you get out every day in Melbourne?
Mount Gambier, not Adelaide. Just a correction there.
Oh, okay, sorry. South Australia, it's all the same, isn't it? It's all the same people. Mount Gambier. I drove through Mount Gambier.
It's funny because it's about 30 k's from the Victorian border, and some people. This is the fuck thing. Some people actually live in Victoria, work in Mount Gambier.
Yeah.
Apparently, when all this sort of started, people's cars were getting smashed with Victorian number plates on.
Truly.
Yeah, because they live 30 minutes away from Mount Gambier, and they work
Yeah.
there. People, driving in with Victorian plates.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Unbelievable. So Mount Gambier. But apart from that, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to get out of the house? You're hiking, you're skateboarding, you're drinking far too much wine.
No, I haven't had any wine for a while. Just just hiking and just skateboarding. I've got I love skateboarding around. I usually leave about 7:45, sunset.
Yeah.
It's just so nice.
Yeah.
People are out walking, and it's really nice. And hiking's good. I listened to a bit of an audio book.
Yeah.
The other week, and that was really good. And I went for a different path, and it's good to get out. And I've been in the backyard a lot lately as well, doing some stuff, doing some gardening and getting rid of some shit in the backyard. So,
mate,
it's
Homebody Bailey.
Yeah, I've had to adjust this year. Yeah.
Well, let's hope that everything continues the way that it's going, and that we can all get a good Chrissy in. Hey, I'm thinking we should try and maybe get our next podcast in around Christmas Day, maybe.
I was going to
catch up on Chrissy Day.
Christmas special, and like I said, I'll get my roster tomorrow, and then
let's see what your roster looks like. And for all those loose souls or empty souls or lonely souls that are sitting out there on Christmas Day or around that time that want to get some festive fucking Christmas cheer into them, we'll have a couple of beers and celebrate. You'll drink your wine or whatever. and we'll celebrate Christmas and piss 2020 off, hey?
Fucking hell.
Sounds good. Barley, as always, pleasure.
Pleasure, mate.
All right. Well, I shall see you. Well, I'll hear from you anyway. Prior to our Christmas special, the Bailey and Curly Unfiltered, the Christmas fucking special.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. As we always say, review if you like us, and if you don't, leave a bad one and warn people about us. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're happy for you to do it. We'll see you.
Like this, send it to someone you hate.
Yes, absolutely. We shall see you next time. This is Bailey and Curly. We'll see you soon. Bye.